Let's take a look at one of, if not the most popular airsoft pistol in recent years. Based on the handgun that's kind of the gun world equivalent to something like the ubiquitous Ford Explorer or the Crown Vic, it's far from the flashiest or most exciting, but with so much love from both professionals as well as civilians, it's gotta be doing something right. It is of course the Glock 17 Gen 5 OEM by VFC. Packaging is simple cardboard and it looks sharp, though with the Glock markings it's not the most discreet. Despite being a polymer lower, almost all moving parts are metal and all the controls sound and feel great to use, with a nice smooth slide travel right out of the box. Slide release is low profile but easy to reach and is ambidextrous out of the box. Magazine release is set up for righties but can be flipped to the other side. It's nice and wide while still sitting flush with the gun, and with drop-free magazines it's smooth to mag swap, yet unlikely to accidentally bump, like more taller race-style mag releases. The trigger has a smooth, albeit pretty long take-up, a very defined wall, and clean, distinct trigger break with very little over-travel. Reset is really tactile and probably one of the best on the market, and though it's a minor detail, once you've felt a properly good reset, it's hard to go back to something more vague. Field stripping is pretty straightforward by taking the mag out, pulling down on the takedown lever and racking back that slide. Removing the spring guide and barrel breaks the gun down into 4 main pieces ready for cleaning. Reassembly is just as straightforward, just be mindful all the pieces are in the right place, and if you need force, you're doing something wrong. It's unlikely you'll need to field strip too often because hop-up adjustment is through the front of the spring guide. A controversial design when it first came out, it's proven to hold adjustment well, and even if you lose the Allen key, you can turn it by hand. Removing the magazine baseplate to fill in gas can be done by pushing down the pin or pulling up on the follower spring. It's a pretty nice design that keeps debris from getting into your fill valve. About 10 seconds of gas is more than enough to fill an empty magazine. You can fill BBs through the top feed lips, but we prefer to pull down on the follower and load straight into the track. It's got a nice wide channel, so getting a good double stack is pretty easy. Just make sure that the spring has some slack left, because if there's no give, it could damage your internals. With eye protection on and racking that slide back to chamber in a round, you're ready to shoot. Blowback is snappy, and though it's not the heaviest kicking out there, it's definitely respectable, and the sharp impulse feels a lot better than many pistols. Again, that clicky trigger and reset that hopefully comes out on camera makes this gun a very refined shooting experience out on the range. Accuracy is great out of the box, with good consistency for nailing these pretty small metal targets. Sure, it's not going to beat out a custom race gun, but as a production duty style pistol, you're definitely not sacrificing performance. There's a reason why these guns are so popular. The ergonomics just work, and after minimal practice, it's easy to get smooth and proficient with this gun. Once you're all done shooting, one of my favorite quirks is that this gun actually stands up on its own, both with and without a magazine, no pistol stand required. Useless quirk for most people, I'm sure, but it does make for pretty nice video shoots though. If you haven't had the chance yet, check out a VFC Glock. Sure, there are fancier guns out there, but there's a reason why this pistol is by far the most common we've seen on the field. As always, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if it tickles your fancy, and I'll catch you on the next one.